answer is that the US led this. Way back in the 60s, the US Supreme Court, in a famous case called New York Times and Sullivan, said that if you're a public figure, you could not sue for defamation, you could not be a plaintiff. Because you're a public figure, you are expected to be, the arrows of criticism are par for course. But that never migrated to the rest of the world. I think in Malaysia, although we had Article 10(1)(c) or 10(1)(a) about freedom of speech, that never happened. But I think the good news is, and I just learned this afternoon when I went for the defamation seminar, because I don't practice defamation. The position in Malaysia now is that the government of Terengganu recently failed in its action when the government of Terengganu was the plaintiff, and I think so was the government of Sarawak. The courts have said, following the House of Lords decision in Derbyshire. So my understanding is that if the governments, and those are two examples of state governments, if the state governments cannot sue, then certainly it will follow that the federal government cannot sue, and it will follow, as a matter of logic, that the Prime Minister, that is for the federal government, and the Menteri Besar, Chief Minister for the state government, also cannot sue. And I think you really cannot draw a distinction between a Prime Minister in his personal capacity and a Prime Minister qua Prime Minister. Because the truth is, if once you are the Prime Minister of the day, you are Prime Minister for 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days in the year. So when the Prime Minister goes to the market or to the supermarket, everybody recognizes him as the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister can also say, I've taken the afternoon off. I'm not the Prime Minister. That is not how it works. And actually we had this, long ago, we had this in the bar. One of our chairmen had tried to draw a distinction, and I won't name him. He tried to draw a distinction between his personal capacity and as chairman of the bar. And we had to tell him, no, in those 2 years, you are the chairman of the bar, and you are our face. And that applies to certainly the Prime Minister and the Menteri Besar. So subject to being corrected by defamation lawyers, because it's not my area, I think the answer is the Prime Minister of the day should not be suing, because he has got so much other opportunities of answering back.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but what you're saying is that as a public official, he doesn't have his rights to sue, right? Okay, from speaking of personal experience, I am Minister of Transparency, of Governance and Integrity. I'm supposed to deal with anti-corruption. So there are people who accuse me that I'm corrupt. And keep on excusing me. You see, I'm corrupt. And we say, please withdraw. They refuse to withdraw. So what recourse do I have? Obviously, I was threatened to sue them because you accused me of corruption. And there's no basis to it. There's the latest article that said that I appointed my crony in such a position, and they named that crony. And I wrote back, I said, I don't even know my crony, I've not even met him. Can you withdraw? And up to today, that is still on his website. So what do? I don't have a right as a minister or as a person? Surely cannot be, Because if I don't take a suit, then the public will say, that's right, this minister is corrupt. He don't even dare stand up and take an action, right? So surely, as a minister, personally, I have the right to take a suit. But of course, I'm prepared to listen to all criticisms about my job. But when it comes to personal, then I'm prepared to take a suit, of course. If someone says that I give a contract to my son, but there's no contract, and my son don't even deal with the government. So who's going to defend me? So obviously, I have due recourse to the courts. So otherwise, what you're saying is everybody has the rights. I am minister, I have no rights.
As a journalist, we write a lot of things. We fact check. We ask a lot of questions from our public officials who are elected to office, public office. Yeah, they have a right to sue us. Very well under the law, Senator Paula has the right to sue me, no problem. But I think we give the right of reply, and that's very important. In Malaysiakini's case, they offer the right of reply, we have offered the right of reply. When public officials, elected officials do not take up the right of reply, but instead go to the courts. I have to ask myself why. And you see, at the end of the day, the media, or any one of us here, we're in the marketplace of ideas. I throw an idea, you throw an idea, we leave it to the readers, to the citizens to decide which idea is better. And that's what I feel is the role of media. We are a platform, we are impartial, and we allow everyone, we're agnostic that way, we allow everyone to do it. So when ministers or chief ministers don't want to take that right of reply, I wonder why.
If I'm not mistaken, that would be because I've not been following it, but I assume that would be the first time a sitting Malaysian Prime Minister has sued, because to the best of my memory, the 5 previous Prime Ministers, so let's look at Malaysia, forget about the US and UK and the other maturing democracies. Singapore is a bad example. Lee Kuan Yew has not lost a case ever in his life. But that's not a good example. But what I'm going to say is that if our 5 former Prime Ministers have not sued for defamation, if is a big if, are you telling me that they were not defamed in office? And only the 6th Prime Minister has been defamed in office?
Yeah.